You are here with By the Cover. Today we're going to be reviewing The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. This book was 336 pages and took me about 3 days to read. Overall, I would rate the book about a 9.7 out of 10. This was really one of my favorite books of the year. I'll try and keep this as vague and spoiler-free as possible. So as far as my likes on this book, I absolutely love the fact that this book was batshit crazy from beginning to end. It was just a wild ride, and I enjoyed the living hell out of every page in this book. It was written from a bunch of very unique perspectives, and just the writing style throughout the book was very unique, and it's not something I've seen from any other author. I can see if you go into this thinking it's a horror book that you could be disappointed because this is more of a creepy mystery. And while there are some horror elements to it, it's not strictly a horror book. So don't go into it expecting that. Now, when I was reading over reviews of this book, you could get the wrong impression and think that this book is super confusing. I didn't think it was confusing at all. I never felt lost throughout the story in that I didn't know what was happening. But the great thing about this book is I think only one time I actually had any inkling of what was going on. And the whole rest of the time I was lost. There are a lot of twists in this book, and it keeps you on your toes and it keeps you guessing throughout pretty much the entire thing. I would say I was wrong 90% of the time. For the most part, all of the characters in this book are great. I thought that they could have fleshed out one of kind of the side characters a little bit more, but she wasn't a bad character at all. I thought the book had a great plot and absolutely killer pacing. I liked the ending and the atmosphere. I would say it's not the best, but it was above average. My only dislike on this book really, and it's not too bad by the end of it, but during the time I was reading it, it was starting to bug me, is the primary character uses some very repetitive phrasing every time they talk to or meet certain characters. And that annoyed me, but it did end up having a purpose in the end. And that's really the only bad thing I can say about this book. Everything else I absolutely loved. Now I can see why this book is decisive in that I think certain people are going to love it and certain people are probably going to hate it. But the good news is, I think, if you just read the first 2 chapters in this book, I think you're going to very quickly figure out if this is your kind of book. If you're not digging it by end of chapter 2, then you can probably just quit reading the book and move on. But I personally was immediately hooked, and I loved it. So that's about it. We'll catch you later.